Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Are we going live? Are we live? I think we are. Hey there, everyone. So I just want to make sure that we are doing what we're doing here. Okay, let's see. Yeah. All right, can I hear myself? All right, yes, we are live. Okay, so hopefully you are going to pop in and hang out with me for a little bit. This segment here that I'm about to teach you, I am about to smack it down. I'm throwing it down, and I hope you are ready to be picking it up because I felt really compelled today to come in and whoop some butt about pricing and why so many people are struggling so hard to make any decent money in their businesses. So, in case you don't know who I am Kelly Schaefer. I am the author of The Concierge Life. It is a book all about growing a concierge business and how I took my dream of taking care of others, and I built a business and a very successful business doing just that, taking care of others. Before that, my previous career, a registered nurse, and I worked in healthcare from the time that I was 16. I worked in healthcare. I started out in healthcare. I worked as a nurse's, or I actually worked in dietary when I was 16. And then I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I thought I wanted to be a lab tech. And I realized very quickly that I didn't really like long white coats and cold basements of hospitals. And so I thought, well, what else can I be? So I thought, oh, maybe I'll become a nurse. And so I became, but I didn't know if I had the stomach for it. So I decided to become a nurse's aide first, see if I had the stomach for it. And then I became a nurse's aide. And I quickly fell in love with nursing and all things about it, the blood, the gore, the everything, you name it. I loved all of it. And so I had the stomach for it and I became a nurse. But 21 years in healthcare later, the environment became very toxic. And it wasn't the work that I was doing, it was not my patients, it was more the environment and being told I had to act and think and operate in a certain way. Because, like many of you, when you have a job, most of the time the job tells you to think just like this, and you have to think like a robot, and you're not allowed to think outside the box, and you're not allowed to be creative, and you're not allowed to care, right? So I know some of you who follow me have been in healthcare as well. If you've worked in healthcare, I would love to know. Let me know. Are you a nurse, an LP, an RN, LPN, CNA, social work? So many people. I just had a conversation with someone today about so many people doing concierge type work, concierge, senior services, concierge, senior services, helper businesses, because this is a subset of people who have a passion and compassion in their hearts to take care of others. And what happens is the environments, many times that we work in, suck that away from us. And so that's not what this topic is about. But in case you're new to me and we're like, where did she even come from? That is how I got started in the concierge industry. And the reason why I started the Concierge Academy, I've been coaching people since 2014 on how to grow their businesses, because 75% of all concierge in the personal concierge space. Now, I'm not talking about big global concierge companies or the companies that, you get the concierge services on your Amex, right? I'm not talking about them, but those that start these personal, like one man, one woman shops that start out that way, 75% of all of them make less than $25,000 a year. Yes. Yes, my friends, that is fact, okay? But 75% of everybody that comes through my programs makes $50,000 a year and more when they put in place what I teach them. And many of them make $50,000 in their first year when they put into place what I want to share with you today. So I had this big, huge conversation with someone today about it, and I am tired of watching people struggle to do this. Now, and at the end of this, I'm going to tell you I have a pricing course that I will make available to you if anyone is interested in doing the training. But I want to break down some bullets for you so that you understand why so many people struggle to make real money in a small service-based business and this type of industry. The helper industry, concierge industry, personal assistants, even if you're a VA or sell organizing, this is why it is so hard for you to make money. And so this was a concept that I actually taught at my event in March called Spark Live. And I wrote down some numbers for you. And this is what I call the pricing pyramid. Okay, it also can be called your profit pyramid. So one of my business coaches, Barry Baumgardner, she taught me the concept of a profit pyramid. But in the online space, a profit pyramid looks very different than it does in the offline one-to-one service model. So I want to share that with you. So down here, if we look at it, this is where we have, most people get started in their business and they charge by the hour. So I'm going to pick some just simple numbers that are easy math, okay? So let's say, for example, that you charge $50 an hour. And for the record, if you're new and just following me and you're like, how much can people, charge for this type of work? You can start a business and charge anywhere from $25 to $75 an hour running errands and being a personal assistant for normal people, like everyday life people, right? I'm not even talking about, Hollywood stars. We have clients that spend and pay us $75 an hour to clean out their closets, right? It's a very normal pricing structure once you get into it. And a lot of people come in and they start trying to, build $10, $15 an hour. And in reality, if you want to build a business, you can never build a sustainable business charging prices like that. Because if you're going to be a business, there are some startup things that you have to do, right? You need to have insurance. You want to get a logo. You want to have, maybe a website. But there are startup costs to starting a business. Anybody that tells you that you can start a business with 500 bucks and a smile is blowing some smoke up your butt, and they're not telling you the actual truth. Because, my friend, just to get insurance is going to cost you $800 a year. So no, you can't start a business for $500 and a smile if you want to build a business in the right way. So here we go. So most people start at the gate and they price their services at $50 an hour. This here is what I call a hot package, okay? So a hot package, for example, could be a $500 package. So already you see, right, that it would take you 10 hours to build out, and I'm gonna use my calculator here. Hold up with me, people. Hold up with me. Yep, my math is right. Okay, that's why I tried to use easy numbers. Okay, so if you were pricing and selling your services hourly, 1 hour at a time, that means you need to sell this $50 an hour 10 times to make the same amount of money as selling one time of a $500 package. Okay, am I making sense? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Somebody tell me yes. Okay. But what most people do is they try to model and follow what they think is the right way to do it. And I will tell you, my friends, that trying to model and follow and do what other people are doing without understanding the back end of their business is you only see the front, you do not see the back. Okay, so I've even had people come and try to copy what I do, and they cannot replicate it because they only see the front. They don't know what actually happens in the back, right? Which is why I sell my pricing course, because I show you, I open the door and I'm like, this is what truly happens in the back. But again, let's go back to this. So this is your hot package, $500 package versus selling your services $50 an hour. The beauty, the tipping point is when you can build a business on what I refer to as the membership model. And this is where you enroll clients to work with you for a length of time, not just 1 hour at a time. Okay, and I know this is a concept that doesn't make sense for some people who are just getting started. And for others, they're like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. And the way that I came up with this was back in, I don't even know. I think it was like 2017-ish, 2016-ish. I read a book about subscription services and the subscription model, and how every business to fully be able to grow the fastest is every business should have some type of subscription or membership component to it. So they would talk about things like, the Wine of the Month Club, and there's so many different subscription services out there. There's like your comic book club, and all the food service plans now, and there's Stitch Fix, and there's all these different service models, right? Or even like Peloton, right? Peloton sells you the bike for X amount of money, but then where do they really get you? They get you on the subscription service, right? That you are paying them each and every month. So when you sign on as a new customer and you pay $3K up front, they know that if it's going to be another $30 a month, and I don't know what the prices really are, I'm just making it up, but if it's $30 a month to use their software for the bike that you already spent $3K on, and it's $30 a month times 12, that's another $360 a year that they easily make on top of you. That's a subscription model. So I took this and I read this book and I was like, I don't understand, blah. And I tested and I tried a couple different subscription models. I was like, oh, you can sign up for 2 hours a month. Literally, one of my things was like 2 hours a month for $67, and I would do this, this, and this for you, right? I will tell you that did not work, and it got really complicated. Because most people did not fit into that, right? So that was like the first one I tried. And then I tried another one. And then I tried another one. And they were not working. And so it took me some time to put in and refine it until I came up with the membership model that I now use and teach the people in my programs, and that I teach in my pricing workshop. And the membership model is basically creating a subscription service, a retainer-based model for the services that you offer. So why in the world, Kelly, if it's so valuable, is it at the top of the pyramid? That looks like a little smaller piece. Yes, and the reason why is because you only need a small handful of these types of clients compared to all of the clients down here that most people are trying to sell 1 hour at a time. Are you still staying with me? Stay with me. So, for example, if you sold your services $50 an hour and you sell a package that's $500 for one package, but you come up with a membership model, which is $500 a month, and part of the membership is that the people who join and sign on with you to be part of your membership do it for a length of time. So let's say, for example, times 6 months. Now what happened? That same potential client is now $3,000 for 6 months. So if you can have one sales call and sell $50, or have one sales call and sell $3,000, which would you choose? Let me hear. Let me know. Which would you choose? Are you here with me? Amanda, hey! Amanda, you know this. Amanda is in my program and she knows this, and we just did a 6-hour workshop just a couple weeks ago. And hey, Kia, so nice to see you here. If anybody else is here, let me know. I want to interact with you. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, so then how can you turn a $500 sale into $18,000? Right here, my friends. See this? See this $3,000 for 6 months? Most clients, now not all clients, and this is not like all clients are created equal, right? Like some people literally just need to hire you for like 2 hours. They just need this one little thing done, and they really have no intention on ever using you again. Those people do not fit into the membership model, right? That's you're trying to sell them something that is not in alignment with their needs. You have to know how to talk about this so that you can offer what is in alignment with the needs that your potential clients have. But when you have someone who is a right fit for your membership, and if they sign on for 6 months and that's $3,000, most clients, especially those who are in a membership, because it's a very specific type of client who wants to work with you consistently like that, most clients stay with you for an average of 2 to 3 years. Many clients stay longer. I've had clients that were with us for 7 years. And then there are other clients that are only going to be with you for 1 month or 2 months or 2 hours, right? But there is the possibility with the right person then that this $3,000 in 6 months, if they stay with you for 3 years, that becomes what? $18,000 basically from one sales call. So this is all about showing you how the time that you put into having a sales call, you can have one sales call that results in $50. You can have one sales call that results in $500, or you can have one sales call that eventually leads to upfront $3,000 and eventually can lead to $18,000 or more from working with one client. Now, if you're listening to me, you may be like, oh, she's talking about clients like their money. No, I am not talking about clients like their money. I'm talking about clients who get to work with you and rely on you, love, trust you and the services that you provide them, that they want to stay with you longer and longer because of the services that you are providing. And when people work with you for a longer period of time, they get what? They get better long-term results. Just like with coaching, right? Some people come in and they coach with me for like one-time deal, or they take one of my workshops and they get so much growth. But then other people who come in and work with me for 6 months or work with me for a year in our year-long mentorship and our masterminds, they get much better results. Why? Because they're with me for a longer period of time. And the same thing happens with the clients who hire you. So yes, Amanda, memberships all the way. So again, it's about looking at your pricing structure and your pricing pyramid and deciding how are you going to lay out your memberships? What are going to be the requirements for your memberships? What are the other things that your clients who join your membership will receive from you? Because remember, sometimes, like the part of, the wine of the month club is you don't have to go out and buy the wine. Part of being part of the wine of the month club is somebody else is picking it out for you, right? Somebody else is finding you the rare ones, right? Like I'm not part of the wine of the month club, but I can only imagine that that's sort of what it's like. And so there are some side benefits, right? There's some side bennies for being part of the membership. So you need to be able to clearly go through and identify what those are so that when you are having a sales conversation with a potential client, you can help them understand what the benefit is to them when they join your membership model. So let's see, does anybody have any other specific questions in here? Now, I cannot teach this all to you in this live. Breaking all of this down and showing you how to go from hourly to package different packages to memberships, different levels of your membership, like you might have a medium and a high and a low membership package, and how to have those conversations and the things that you want to have in your contract about those conversations. These are the things that I teach in much more elaborate detail in our pricing workshop. So if this is a model that you want to set up and you don't want to take 6 months to a year to try to figure this out on your own and testing, then I would encourage you to do our pricing workshop, and then you'll have it set up so that when you are spending your time, again, so people say, oh, I can't afford to do the pricing course, right, or the pricing workshop. I'll try to figure this out on my own, but then it takes them months and months to figure this out on their own. And what happens too is that people don't know how to transition in their own businesses about how to talk about going from here to this. Most people don't have that skill set, and it's not a skill set that is very easy to pick up, and it is a skill set that I teach in the pricing course. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention about this is that, again, for example, one sale. So if you, and we know that not everybody who calls you will become a client, right? So in the very beginning, typically, there's a 10%, typically, so 10% what we'll call conversion rate, right? So basically 1 out of 10 people who call you or inquire about your services, 1 out of 10 will say yes. Okay, that's in the very beginning, because most of the time in the very beginning, you're not really sure what you're talking about. You stumble over your words a lot. Maybe you don't, but I know I sure as heck did. And I used to say, I think I got to talk to like 100 people to get one client. The reason really was is I wasn't talking to the people in the right way, and I wasn't marketing properly, which then once I fixed those things, then my conversion rates skyrocketed. And now our conversion rates typically live around 50 to 55%, right? But if it comes from a referral, our conversion rates are 70 to 80% on referrals because they come already prime. But so for example, if you are, even if you, maybe you are a baller at sales calls, right? And let's say you are having a 30% conversion. So 3 out of every 10 potential sales calls you have becomes a yes. Then would you rather have 3 people say yes at $50 an hour? Would you rather have 3 people say yes for your $500 package? Or would you rather have 3 people say yes at your potential $3,000 membership? I mean, I know what I would want, right? So the problem is that most people won't try to figure this part out because it's quote unquote hard. And there is some complexity to figuring this out on your own, which is why I break it down so much in our pricing workshop. But the problem is, again, that people don't realize that you have to have marketing. Your marketing front loads your sales calls, right? So if you don't have enough sales calls, you need better marketing, right? So marketing feeds the number of calls that you have for sales calls. Then the more you learn and practice how to talk about what you do, then your conversions on people saying yes will go up. And when you build out this membership model, this is literally how I build a business making $16,000 a month, $16,000 a month in recurring revenue. Recurring. Basically, every month when I open my bookkeeping system, I automatically know that I'm billing $16,000 a month just from existing recurring memberships. This is how I grew. This is how I went past the 100K mark, is when I instituted this. Because I was no longer just selling $50 an hour. Not that my rates were $50 an hour. My rates were not quite that at that rate. We did go up later, but And I wasn't selling $500 at a time either, right? So to sell, for example, to do $16,000 a month, that would require 32 $500 packages. So I would ask you, how many packages are you selling in the month, right? Do you even have packages figured out that are what I refer to as the hot package? The hot package is the package that people buy over and over and over again, very easily, very quickly. It's almost like it's candy because it's so easy to sell. That is what a hot package is. But it takes some time to develop it and to develop the nomenclature, the way you talk about it and why it is so valuable to the people who call you and want to hire you. So, yes. All right. So let's see. We just signed on, Amanda said, we just signed on a new client who needs us for 2 to 3 months, 10 to 20 hours going forward. I'm not sure whether they should be in a membership or a package. This might be better for a Q&A. Yeah, you can totally bring that to a Q&A, Amanda, but I would totally ask them, I would honestly invite them to join your membership for 3 months. That's how I would do it. I would just say, offer them, you can do it this way, and then remember, because we've built this out with you, right? What the value proposition, what your value stack is for your memberships, what they would get out of it as a benefit to them, right? And we talked about that in detail in our training. And if you want to bring that up in a Q&A call, I will absolutely walk you through that. Yes, right, Kia? Totally eye-opening, right? Like, why you wanna be hustling your asses off trying to sell your crap at $50 an hour? Because most people are just trying to model what they're seeing other people do. Or I can say build out a membership model, and then other people will try to go and do this, but again, they see it from the front, they don't quite understand the strategic approach to it from the back end, which is why I have that all laid out in our pricing course so that you understand, you get it, you understand it. And knowing how to talk to people about what you offer, because again, not everyone belongs here, right? Not everyone is a right fit for your membership, and you should never try to sell something or even offer it to someone that it's not a right fit for, okay? If they know that they just need you once or twice, definitely hourly, or I would honestly have a package available that they could buy, because then again, it's just easy. It's a one transaction thing. The other beauty about selling packages, because some people will be like, what's the difference? Why not? So-and-so hires me, they pay me by the hour, and I bill them once a week, and then, they use me 30 hours a month. Well, why don't you just build out a package that you can build just once instead of having to do it weekly? Because, my friends, as you grow and scale, right, there is administrative work that happens behind the scenes, right? You're billing. This is why people get behind on their billing, because they're billing an hour at a time instead of billing at a package at a time, or instead of billing someone in a membership who should be and qualifies and would be a good fit for a membership. So what happens is you get behind on your billing because you're billing 1 hour at a time, and it's harder to calculate all of this than it is to do that. It's harder to calculate all of this than to enroll them just in that. And then when you start doing well and you hire someone in to help support you in the back end of your business to do your bookkeeping, for example, you want to have them spend less time doing your bookkeeping. What would be less time for them doing your bookkeeping? This over this, okay? So do you see it also has this immediate trickle-down effect that infuses throughout different areas of your business that most people don't even think about. They don't think about how this leads to faster profitability. People don't think about how this leads to easier billing, easier bookkeeping, less bookkeeping fees, right? Like that's all the stuff that's on the back end that most people, they're like, oh yeah, I'll do this package membershipy thing. Yeah, I'll figure it out. Most people don't figure it out, and they don't understand the real rationale behind why and how it trickles down into thousands of dollars of savings through the course of your business each and every year, just from administrative crap from the back end. All right, my friends. So I hope, and let me see, I don't see any questions here, but there could be some questions over in the other group. Let me just double check before I wrap up. All right. And all right, I don't see any here, but sometimes there's like a delay in the comments because it's actually saying that I have more comments than I can actually see. So I am going to drop a link in here for any of you who have not done the pricing course. I highly, highly recommend. Yes, is there an investment to do the workshop? Yes, there is. Of course there is, but you get my 5 years of figuring it out and the success that my clients get who are in my programs that I teach this to in our masterminds. So I'm going to drop that there. And then, of course, if you have any additional questions, just go ahead and you can post them and I will be sure to come back and answer them for you. All right, my friends. So I hope that this was eye-opening. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Now, of course, yes, there are times when this is the right thing, but for most people, this is not the right thing, and it's not the right way, right? So again, would you rather have 3 sales calls a month that converted to this or 3 sales calls a month that converted to this? And again, it's an energetic thing. It's more than just because you could say, oh, well, the same person can turn into a person. Yes, but it's an energy of always feeling like you need permission, right? Like, can I bill you more hours? Is it okay if I sell you more hours? It is okay if I bill you another package? And instead of doing that, when you learn how to do this, all of the energy of you thinking about that and holding that energy over and over and over again is completely taken away by doing this in the right way. Now, there is what I call the hierarchy of selling. And the hierarchy of selling is learning how to sell hourly, then from learning how to sell hourly to learning how to sell packages, and then from learning how to sell packages to learning how to sell memberships. Because it's a different conversation and it's a different skill set, my friends. Most people don't roll out of bed in the morning knowing exactly how to build this into their own business and do it really successfully in the beginning, right? It takes understanding the rationale and strategy behind why you're doing this and how to do this, like logistically how to do this. And then once you do that, your business will grow at a much, much faster speed. One of my students in our program, Naima, she came in and she was like, "Oh, that's how I'm going to do it faster." I said, "Yeah." She was like, "All right, I'm doing that," and that's what she's been doing since the beginning. Since the beginning, most of her business is through memberships, and she did 55,000, I think it was, her first year, and she did 94,000 last year in her second year. And this is after 2 years of barely making any money because she learned how to do this and she learned how to actually market to bring clients in that made this so much easier. All right, my friends, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I know this was totally impromptu, but I felt like there was a passion on my heart tonight, and I wanted to get that out to everyone. So hopefully you learned a valuable lesson from this, and I'll see you next time.